I've been part of multiple different leadership development programs. It's always interesting when people take the different types of personality tests and they're in their jobs. I've seen lots of executives, they've actually altered the answers to what they really are because in their head they want to become a transformational leader. I'm transforming my leadership skills into changing the organization to make us the best one that's possibly out there. It's transactional leaders. There's an awful lot of them. They really dominate the actual world of leadership. Transformational means you go into an organization, looking at it, do a deep analysis, and then create a vision as to how you want that to become to better achieve the goals and objectives of the organization as a whole. That really is the aspect of what you transform. In other words, it's not going to remain the same when you're all done with it. Now, the bulk of people that are transformational leaders, they tend to be what we call change agents. People hate change. They want everybody else to change, but they don't want to change. So it's almost kind of funny. You can see this in the world of politics. Those people in Washington, D.C., they're all corrupt. They're all bad. We need to change the whole thing. Well, what about your congressperson? Well, mine's really good. All the other ones are bad. Okay, isn't that how it always is? We want everybody else around us to change except ourselves. Change is pretty frightening. You already know what the status quo is. You already know how to get by and maybe even thrive in the current environment, and all of a sudden somebody comes in and they're going to change everything. Who do they think they are? Why do they think that we're really bad? I mean, that actually is the attitude. A lot of transformational leaders get fired after 4 years. It's a pretty common aspect. I call it an organizational wave. You'll see them come in and they change, and then they go out. I've seen one of them. I really admired her, and I mentioned her previously. Patsy came in. This is the culture is rotten to the core. And then 4 years later, boom, she's out the door, and they bring somebody in that just kind of calms the wave. You'll see this happen. You want massive change. You bring a change agent in, a transformationalist, and then you have a transactionalist. Somewhere in between is the balance, because you have to ride the wave for both of them because of the fact that they both have good traits to them in spite of what different people actually go out and they start believing in the process. So let's look at the transformational and the transactional aspect of it. And let's look at the both from both of them and look at the 4 key behaviors in the aspect of transformational leadership, and also what are the traits of some of the transactionals. Transactional leadership focuses on clarifying roles and tasks, how we're going to provide rewards and punishments contingent upon performance. That's pretty straightforward. I want to hone this over here. They don't necessarily want to change anything, at least right away, but let's make certain everybody is on the same page. We're communicating really well. A transformational leader wants to transform the employees to pursue the organizational goals over self-interest. You'll see that, but also as soon as you start talking about transforming employees, you're getting into the space of their personality and who they are and what they're doing and what their comfort level is. Soon as you penetrate that aspect of it, unless you have built up the concept that they buy into your vision and you take your vision and you make it their vision, okay, you're going to have pushback. No matter how you spin it, no matter how many different posts that you have, no matter how many emails you sent out, you need to sit down and focus with massive amounts of communication, get people on board, find the people that are actually doing the work itself in the process, and you really have that whole thing when it comes down to sit down next to somebody at the lowest level and find out what some of the concerns and address them. Start with that aspect of transforming. A lot of times a good leader will go listen and have a listening tour, except for the fact I've seen that happen. I'm going to have my 100 days of listening. And then they keep on listening. I'm going to have another 100 days for listening. They don't do anything. They just walk around and they listen and they try to look really good. That's kind of the latest trend that we're seeing right now. I'm going to go on a listening tour. Okay, listen, but do something while you're listening to on top of it. Otherwise, you're going to be a transactional leader continually. You'll tweak the rules, you'll tweak the test. okay, let's just do this a little bit better. We can do better over here. And you'll see that whole aspect of it, what it is between a transactional. It really is a prerequisite. You have to be able to deal with this. Transactional leaders are nothing but managers. That's what it comes down to. You're going to tweak the existing organization to do it to this highest level of expectations at the moment. The transformational leader, it gets superior performance when it adds to the transactional leadership. You have to be able to manage before you can lead. The two are locked interchangeably. You can be a leader, you can babble all you want to and talk about change, 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 but if you don't get down into the roots, then you'll sit down and be nothing but a transactional leader who just happens to talk more. I saw a college president come into the job and they had 20 different goals that they're going to achieve in that first year. Yes, we're going to go do this. We're going to go do this. And all the goals, they were about that deep. They changed nothing. The culture was still there. A true transformational leader has 3 to 5 goals. Once you sit down and dive deep into a goal, you'll have a whole multitude of different changes that come with that if indeed you're going after that. But don't get your organization running around trying to put up little fires because of the fact that the leader has 20 different goals to achieve, because you're not going to achieve the 20 different goals. If you focus in on some of the root causes as to why your organization is where it's at and where you want it to be, you focus in on that and you really get your team on board to fix these 3, 4, or 5 different goals. My recommendation is 3 or 4, but make them big goals, dynamic, and have a vision as to what you want your organization looking at 3 years for strategic planning, 3 to 5 years out, and then maybe you'll be able to have your vision 20 years out as well. Transformation, you have to be able to transact to be able to transform. If you don't survive that whole transactional aspect of it and bring your knowledge and skills and ability right there, that's a big deal. You'll never be able to transform it. You must be able to manage to be able to lead. They're both locked into each other. Not all managers can lead. They can always be good managers, but a real leader is going to have the vision to sit down and carry everything forward past that whole transactional style into transformational. Inspirational motivation. Let me share a vision that transcends us all. Okay? We are here to do the right thing. The right thing is, a lot of times people stop there. I think the right thing is that we need to be doing the following steps over here, because the data shows that if we're over here, we're missing out on this group and this niche over here, this aspect of it in our own different industry. I think we can do better, but I think we can do better if we do the following 3 things in this area, and that's why I want our goals this next year to be in these 3 focus areas, because I believe that we can capture this element over here and make our organization not just more effective, actually having more market share and a bigger impact on the world that we're in. That's a little bit different story. You have the opportunity here to excel and grow. Okay, you have the opportunity. All of a sudden, you're talking about going down to their level, and you have the opportunity. Let me describe the great challenges we can conquer together. You're trying to be inclusive. We are here to do the right thing. Let me share a vision that will transcend us all. And if you buy into this vision and share this vision, we can create it. And I want to spend time talking to you about what I'm looking at. And if you have feedback, I'm going to be coming to your departments and I'm going to be looking for feedback in this different area. Now, by the way, if you just sit down and you talk about your vision and it's your vision, you will get some people on board. But if you don't go out and listen to people about the response to your vision and adopt things into your vision, you will never be a true transformational leader. You'll be a transactional leader that'll just basically go by and settle back into the same routine of just doing the work that needs to be done. Transformational leadership, it can be used to train employees at any level, but you have to talk about the aspect of what visioning is, okay? And it can be used for ethical reasons. We want to transform this over here. One of the great tools for transformational leadership, surprisingly, is technology. Technology is a bizarre tool because it is a sneaky change agent, because you can just say, well, we have to keep up with technology. Our competitors already have this. And then all of a sudden people will accept that much more than your own visioning process when you look at it. Transformational leadership, lead change, shared vision. Often that person is a change agent, and they have to survive the pushback against change and learn how to cope with that. That is a major skill set they need. The transactional, they maintain and polish everything that's on the inside. They do good details, and it's maintaining the status quo. Transactional, you need to be able to do that to sit down there and launch into transformational. They are linked, except for the fact that you can be bogged down in transactional and forget about your goal of transforming the organization and become a true leader. Take care.